what was the challenge having team also in Jogja, and then also I think you have sales team in Jakarta and then Muhammad in Singapore. Is it a challenge or it's actually something that you're proud of and doing well?
I think. What do you think, Muhammad?
Okay, I think I will be able to answer that because I'm based in Singapore, managing the Jakarta team, right? So it has been like that for the past 3 to 4 years. It's tough because you are not able to see the team, how's the team performing. But once you establish processes and habits of structure that the team are supposed to follow, then I think it makes things a bit easier, right? But that said, physical, there must always be a physical meeting. So that's why I always travel up to Jakarta to meet the team. But after some time, once the team are able to run on their own, it's based on trust, it's based on goals that the team set and commit to achieve. So that's where even if I go to Jakarta, it's less and less because there's a meeting with the team, but more because of exploring more and more opportunities in Indonesia. So at the beginning, definitely there's a need to get the team dynamics right and processes right. But once that is done, the team can run on its own. Trust has been built. I think after that is quite okay. But we still have quarterly meetups to set targets together and so on. So at the end of the day, it's not always 100% remote. There must always be some physical touch in managing a remote team. Yeah.
But with you guys already running remotely, do you think it already prepare you guys for this kind of a pandemic?
Yeah. So it's amazing. I mean, not amazing, but there's good and bad. I think we are used to doing remote working, so that's a good thing. So things still can progress, but because we are also expanding quite fast, so therefore it's kind of tough to gel the team together, like what we used to be able to. So while the engine is still moving, I think the team dynamics, we need a different strategy to engage the different team members. So that's where the added challenge comes in.
Agree.
Is there any specific strategy that you do during this pandemic to overcome this problem?
I think the HR side do a lot of extra stuff. I'll just say it, then Delta you can add on. So I think we have a lot of checks in place to ensure that the teams are okay. Let's say weekly checks, we call it the employee pulse, that we try to check whether everyone is okay. And then after that, we have a monthly meet, either because to set targets together, to review targets together, or to do activities together. But more importantly, also, we try to drum the culture of Qiscus to everyone by us founders writing things, having online interactions with everyone so that everyone understand the value of Qiscus. What do we emphasize a lot on? So all these values needs to be stronger during times like this where we don't exactly meet physically. So that once everyone holds the same values and the same mission, then that's where things can still move forward. So I think that's generally what I see, but I think Delta will be able to add better.
Yeah, on top of that, I think having I think it's really worth to coin your culture values or core values, Arya. I think we believe so. So we coin our 5 core values in Qiscus, which helps become a so-called compass for everyone in the team, no matter where they are. What exactly Qiscus as a company values from as a person, as a team, as a company. So second, I think we should also, just to on top of what Muhammad has shared just now, I think a strong team have a clear goals, be it a short-term or long-term goals. So having a quarterly goal setting or OKR meetings I think it helps the companies to ensure that everyone is moving towards this direction. This is how I contributed myself as a team. This is how I contribute myself as an individual. So it helps drive and mold that culture that we are expecting from everyone in the company. So the rest, I think about like engagement, like we have weekly talk or weekly sharing session. We have pulse and everything that Muhammad have shared is basically try to re-emphasize all these values so that everyone are okay and moving things forward, basically. But challenges definitely remains there. So that's why the pulse that Muhammad have shared is ensuring that we know that if some people are feeling sick or not feeling so well or feeling demotivated or isolated sometimes, we can prompt to help him or her overcome whatever he is experiencing. Basically, we can be advising him about something, or we can be allowing him to take a rest and so on, like that, Arya.
I see. Thank you. So I know you guys have been friends for a while, right? I mean, 12. Did you say what, 12 years?
I think so.
So
I
yeah,
think
This year, Muhammad, 20. I think should be more, bro.
more than that. Okay lah, we are old already, bro. We are old.
So have you guys ever fought as co-founders?
Oh, that's interesting.
It's
We definitely argue a lot, but yeah. But what I think
argue a lot. That's part of working together. If you don't argue, means the company is not going to go anywhere. So
the best thing about having 3 people, Arya, is that if 2 people fight or argue, the third one usually take a step of balancing out. So I think that's how we survive so far.
The thing is that Delta is usually the facilitator, you see, Pak. So I will argue with Evan. Then Delta is like, okay, Evan, this is what you think. Okay, Muhammad, this is what you think. Okay, come, let's go to the middle. So Delta is always the facilitator. So I seldom fight with him. I fight Evan more.
So Delta is the peacemaker.
Yeah, he's a peacemaker. So he's a very peaceful person, as you can see, right? Sometimes too peaceful until you want to fall asleep. No, just kidding. But yeah, so that's basically the dynamics.
Yeah,
I see. So I don't know. I mean, this next question is a bit too direct, I guess. But do you have any things that you like or you hate about your co-founder?
I answer this first. I mean, I think the hate part is quite easy to answer because it's very difficult to hate Delta, right? To be honest, right? It's very difficult to hate him. So he, even if you try to hate him, he will make peace such that you can't hate him, right? So that's the problem. So I don't like that about him because I cannot hate him, right? But what I like about him is basically he can really put himself in your shoes. That's related to what I don't like about him as well. He can put himself in your shoes and understand where you're coming from so well that you can't hate him. That's a problem, right? So yeah. So that's basically my short answer, Delta. Go ahead. Tell the whole world what you hate about me.
Yeah, how about you, Delta?
I don't think it's about hate. It's just about more like challenges or the tough one working with Muhammad. Or in general, probably, Muhammad in general is very detailed person, probably. Like he can craft strategy in very detailed, visionary, to the extent that it's very hard to meet that kind of standard by everyone in the company. So it's more like tough challenges that that everyone in the company is trying to meet that standard, which I believe that's why he's the COO. He's the one that guiding all the operational excellence in Qiscus, ensuring that the standard of execution that in Qiscus is well maintained there. So it's not exactly hate. It's more like I'm really looking up for him when it comes to that standard. When it comes to love or what I like about him is Muhammad is a very family person, Arya. He has 3 kids. And in general, the Qiscus founder is very family oriented. So somehow Muhammad, because he has 3 kids, is become like a standard by me and Evan when it comes to balancing out between growth, what we want to achieve as a company, our dream that we want to achieve, which also, and also about being a good father, being a good husband to your family. So a lot of time it becomes a moral compass for myself and for Evan to ensure that, hey, okay, we want to grow so much for what? For example, it's for your family at the end of the day. It's for your wife, it's for your kids, for your parents, for example. So me and Evan looking forward to Muhammad when it comes to that. He's a very family person, and we aspire to be like him when it comes to that, basically. So yeah, that's about Muhammad, basically, Arya.
I see. So it's kind of like someone who will remind you that we're doing this for something, right? We're doing this for our family.
You grow. Okay. We work overtime and so on. But okay, probably we should think simpler, like how to make your family happy and so on. Probably we should take a break. Probably we should balance out all this with how we take care of the company and so on. So yeah, it helps that, balance. It gives that balance to the me and Evan, as well as to the company, because in Qiscus also there are a lot of families and small families that I think the record is still with Muhammad when it comes to number of kids. So it's like being able to found a company with 3 kids since the very beginning, I think, Muhammad.
Yeah. No, I start with 1.
Of course. But when you Qiscus, I think you at least have already 2. So it's like, okay, it become a target it become a goal, it become a target to be able to survive as a company and so on.
Actually, if my wife is looking at this, she will disagree with Delta, but
it's okay.
We started Qiscus and my wife just gave birth to my first child in the hospital. That's why I told my wife I'm going to quit my job. That's why my wife was lying down after giving birth. So, I don't know. I think my wife will disagree with what Delta said, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. How did she react?
How did she react? I mean, it's a good thing that I can't remember how she react. But yeah, I think she was too weak to react, which is a good thing.
So you found just the right time, right?
Just the right time, right? When your wife cannot react, right? So yeah.
Okay. So next question. What are the ups and downs doing startup, doing your own company, founding the company from zero?
Right, a lot, I think.
Yeah,
just some examples of the ups and downs.
I mean, I'll give one. I think this is most memorable because I have families. So I mean, there were a few when it comes to Hari Raya, the THR in Indonesia, which is compulsory, tunjangan Hari Raya. That was I still remember at the beginning stage of Qiscus, that's always the most stressful period of running a company, because that is when you got to actually pay double the expenses. But that's also when there were a few years at the beginning, especially in 2015, where the Hari Raya is something that not enjoyable at all, because that is when we actually face a downturn, right? In Qiscus in 2015 Hari Raya. So we actually couldn't bring in the revenue in, and therefore we couldn't pay salary. So that was like a real downtime when we family wanting to celebrate Hari Raya and couldn't have the THR, don't even have basic salary paid. That's quite tough. But what is also motivating about that period, which reminds us about our commitment to the families of our employees, is that those people who kind of went through the downtime with us, they didn't quit Qiscus. They actually continued. Most of them, in fact, we gave 2 months no pay, but almost all of them stayed with us until we finally got the revenue in and we were able to clear off the outstanding salary. So I think while there is a downtime, that also gives a lot of meaning to what it means by taking care of each other in Qiscus. So yeah, that's on from my perspective.
I think it already helps coin everything. It's both down and up actually.
At the same time, it's really motivating. At the same time, painful, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's something that is kind of painful, right? Knowing that that you cannot provide what you promised to your employees, right? But I guess from that downtime, you can realize who really is your family in your organization, right?
Very true. Very true. In fact, there are at least 5 of them who are still with us, and one of the reason why they are still with us is because of this family. We are in this together, and we will go through this together.
How about you, Mas Data? Any stories like that?
Yeah, the story is somehow is the same. No, just kidding. The rest I think is that's monumental moment, definitely that's 2015. The rest definitely I always happy when it comes to any product release, any products that actually been delivered well. Any clients that are actually sharing how the product actually has helped them. For example, when we helped one of the telehealth company, he shows us how I think back then there was a flood in Indonesia where the refugees instead of the doctors has to come to the refugees camp, he actually do a telehealth to the doctor remotely. So and I can help to share to everyone in the team that this is what we did, this is how we helped them, this is how we facilitate these communications, and it really remind us why exactly we are doing this. Just one of the things I remember, but in general, the ups is when you really feel that what you did in the company actually bring that our values is more like not so much about impact. It's really about being useful as a person, as a company, and as a team. We have this because I think it relates to how historically we have a time where we really values the family. So the team in general is we really close with almost everyone in the company. To the extent that we usually have this thing called HR issue of the week, which the founders just discuss. Okay, is there anything that we need our attention this week? So a lot of times it's a down thing. Down thing means, like, for example, someone has to leave, or someone has to someone gets sick, for example, because of COVID, for example, it happens. So that's also a down for me personally, where but sometimes we remind each other that there's this interesting, every time there's someone putting up their resignations in Qiscus, there's only 2 reasons why they don't got counted proposed, basically. The first is when Google actually make them an offer to fly to Silicon Valley, for example, or Facebook. Second is when the person actually built a company and is already so busy that he has to resign now from Qiscus. So only these 2 cases where usually we don't counter propose whatever he resigned, what he resigned for. So it's interesting to see that there are actually quite a number of people in Qiscus decided to start their own company for not just digital. Some actually open up coffee shop, for example, and he actually able to sustain him and his family with that. So we are very happy to be able to facilitate that kind of growth to the team, basically. So it's supposed to be down, but now we come up. Okay, anyway, something like that.
I see. So, but is there any challenges in your recruitment having your head office in Jogja?
Recruitment wise, usually we hire in 2 places, or sometimes 3 places in Singapore. But usually we specify that this person will be assigned to Jakarta, or this person will be assigned to Jogja office. Though during the pandemic like this, usually they can just work from anywhere. Usually divided because of their functions. Like for example, if they are marketing, sales, or partnership, usually they are based in Jakarta, the office. If they are in tech, they're in product, usually they will be based in Yogyakarta. So and in Yogyakarta, actually, in terms of talents, they are in general they are abundance of talents, I think, Pak Arya. So I think that's also why there are a lot of companies or startups now opening up their offices in Yogyakarta, because to tap all these talents. Partly because of there are so many universities in Yogyakarta, which every year actually just release a lot of talents to the industry. So yeah, usually not so much challenges. For majority of the roles, usually is okay. It's just now the competitions in Jogja just getting a lot more fierce, because there's now a lot of companies actually now know already the secret that, okay, Jogja is very lucrative places to open up your development team or engineering space. Not everyone is here, so it's very fierce. But I think we have that advantage of first mover advantage that we already here since 2013. People use most of the time the campus already know about Qiscus. So usually we usually during one of the OKR, usually there's 100% achievement when it comes to hiring. Most of the time usually we achieve that at least 90% of the time. So yep, especially in Jogja.
Is it hard to keep your employees from the poachers?
Is it hard? I think when it comes to retention of employees, it's definitely tough when it comes to if our value is just the salaries, because usually most of the time they are huge companies with strong funding and they can just give double of the salary or so on. But we believe in Qiscus our value is not just about the salaries, but it's also about being in the company with a strong growth mindset that actually can grow you together, basically as a team. So most of the time we are able to somehow still manage to keep our retentions at a healthy rate, Pak Arya, because yeah, a lot of time it's not just we want to strike the values beyond just the salaries. Basically, it's about being in Qiscus, it's about growing as a person, as an individual.